Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, back with another video for you guys finally. I'm here to do a story, a Dark Shadows fan fiction story. I have no material right in front of me, as you can see. These are just songs from the 60s. But I hope you enjoy this. It's entitled Music of Your Life. It's about a young 24-year-old man named Simon Felton. Simon was a simple young man. He wanted simple things, such as ownership of a bar. Any bar would do, really. So he packed his bags from New York City and headed to Rhode Island, where a bar was indeed for sale. He had heard about the bar through a local friend of his named Quinn Davis. Quinn was a very beautiful young girl who liked Simon very much and decided to go with him. She never told Simon about her feelings, and Simon really never told her much of anything except for about wanting to own a bar. So they both traveled together to the lovely town of Collinsport, Maine. Once there, they come upon the very bar that Simon wants to buy. He sees the sign clearly as they walk along the dock. Simon, Blue Whale. I think we should change the name. Wait, I think you should buy it first before you make any of those decisions, Simon. Oh, hello there, hello. An elderly woman approached the two youngsters. She extended her hand and introduced herself. I'm Maggie, Maggie Evans. So nice to meet you. Simon extends his hand. Oh, it's nice to meet you too. You're the realtor, right? Oh, yes, yes. Quinn extended her hand and Maggie shook hers as well. So, you his girlfriend? Quinn's face turned red, as did Simon's. Quinn, oh no, no, we just know each other. We're friends. Maggie, oh, I see. My apologies. So you want to buy the bar that's for sale? Simon, yes, I would love to. Okay, so I told you the price over the phone. You said you could pay that up front, which is good. You won't technically own the bar yet. You'll still need to make 3 additional payments, which isn't much considering it's only $400 a month. The bar does need fixed up a bit. You do need to wipe the place down before making any serious repairs. The main thing wrong with it is the tables in the bar itself need replaced. But if you're going to pay me, I won't stand in your way. Simon hands her the money. Here you go. Maggie already had the title and deed signed. She goes, I technically shouldn't give you this until you fully pay it off. But I trust you. You seem very honest, Simon. Oh, I am. He goes, yeah, I've known him my whole life. He's very honest. All right. Remember, you have 4 more payments to make. So, and if you miss one, I'm sorry to say the banks aren't very forgiving around here. They'll take it. That's serious, huh? Maggie Evans, yes, very. So, Simon and Quinn walked toward the bar. Maggie shakes her head. Hey! They stop and turn. She tosses them something. Simon catches what it is. It's the keys to the door of the Blue Whale. I think you'll need those. Maggie then walks away from them. Simon looks at Quinn and smiles. She smiles back. Simon sticks the key into the lock and he turns it. He hears a click. Well, the lock's not broken. The door's not really that rusty either. You consider from the sea air, you'd think it would be, wouldn't you? Simon notices it right away. So does Quinn a bit. Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? I mean, this air must be brutal. Simon turns the knob with his hand and then pushes open the door. They walk inside. The place is dark and dreary and full of dust. The bar, as Maggie said, is rotting. It needs a full replacement. Well, when you wanted to help me open this bar, what do you think? Quinn notices something beside the bar. Look at that. Simon notices it too. They walk over. Quinn, Simon, you know what this is? Simon laughs. Yeah, it's a jukebox. It's an old time jukebox from the 60s. Yeah. Alright. We need to order we need to order a new bar. Do you want to do that or vacuum up the dust? Quinn goes, I've never been much of a cleaner. I'm ordering the bar. I'm ordering the new bar. We can have it built and then installed. When Simon laughs. Okay, I'll get the vacuum cleaner from the truck. Oh, and hey, Quinn, make sure they make it with solid oak. That's what kind of wood I want that bar to be. Solid oak. Okay, I'll tell them. So, Simon goes outside, as does Quinn. The difference is Quinn is actually taking the truck to the lumber yard. They passed it on the way into town. Simon takes the vacuum cleaner, the cleaning supplies, and heads back in. He looks around for a place to plug something in. The only place he can think is where the jukebox is beside the bar. So he takes the cord, he holds the and unravels it. He takes the plug and he plugs it in to the plug. He notices the jukebox is still plugged in. That's odd. I don't think Quinn did that, did she? Maybe they just never unplugged it. Simon runs the vacuum cleaner, begins vacuuming up some of the dust on the floor. Electricity is a funny thing. It sparks by the plug. Just then, the vacuum cleaner cuts off and the jukebox kicks on. The sun, the song, the sun ain't gonna shine by the Walker Brothers begins to play. Simon stops and looks at the jukebox. His vacuum cleaner isn't running. Wow, Maggie didn't say anything about bad electricity here. Just then the sweeper begins to run and the music begins to play. Eh, got some tunes to listen to. Eh, there must have been an old quarter stuck in that thing. Simon simply just explains it to himself. He again goes back to vacuuming the dust up off the floor. After he finishes with that, he begins dusting off all the tables and the chairs. Though they're going to need replaced, he wants them cleaned when he takes them outside. He vacuums up the dust that he knocked back off onto the floor and then stops. Finally, after a long while, Quinn returns. With the truck. The jukebox shuts off. It had been just plain dead air. Simon shakes his head, and Quinn enters the Blue Whale. Simon begins laughing. Quinn goes, "What's so funny?" He goes, "Did you plug that in?" I goes, "No, why? What's going on?" "Well, it must have been plugged in then." "We played a song." "Really?" Quinn looks at the old jukebox. Once again, it begins to light up and begins to play. "Working My Way Back to You" by the Four Seasons. Uh, Quinn and Simon stare at each other. "That's weird, isn't it?" I guess, "Yeah, that is. Maybe there's an old quarter in there." "That's what I thought too, but it's still running." The song continues to play. The two begin taking out all the old chairs and setting them outside. They set them in the garbage bin, and after that they finish cleaning the floor. They go inside and clean up the bathroom, which to their surprise which doesn't look rotted or rusted. None of the interior does, only the bar itself, which they found very strange. After they get done, well, Simon says, "We can't do anything until they bring the new bar. Plus, we have to order liquor." And he goes, "Yeah, there's that liquor store across the street. We could just buy some." "We have to check the refrigerator, the templates first before we go buying any. We got to make sure they're good." Simon walks back. He looks at the old templates that should be rusted and rotted, but they're not. "Quinn, you're not going to believe this." "Quinn, what?" She begins to walk toward him. And then the song "I Saw Her Again" by the Mamas and Papas begins to play. Simon looks at the jukebox. The bar unrots, becomes whole again. The tables seem to appear by themselves back in the Blue Whale, the very tables and seats that Simon and Quinn took out. Quinn, who's wearing a pair of navy blue jeans and a black tank top, is now wearing a dress. A short navy blue dress and nothing else. Simon, who was wearing street clothes, is now magically wearing a white button-up t-shirt with a pair of black pants. His hair is slicked back. He turns and tries to holler Quinn's name, but can't. The entire room has changed. There are people dancing on the floor. Quinn is sitting at the bar. What just happened? Simon, it happened to you too? What's with that dress? I've never seen nothing that short. Uh, Quinn blushes. So does Simon. He can't help but staring at the beautiful young girl who's been his friend his whole life. What's going on? Hey, Bob! Bob! Simon turns. My name's not Bob. Where the hell's Bob and who the hell are you? I'm Simon. Well, Simon, give me a beer. You got a poor attitude, buddy. Poor attitude. I come in here every day and buy beer. And Bob serves me with a smile. And you'll do the same, you hear me? Man seems to be drunk. Look, do I have to throw you out of here? I'd like to see you try, youngster. You're so rude. Kids, no respect these days. Simon, who the hell are you, buddy? Me? Sam Evans. I got plenty of respect, kid. If you respect me, I'll respect you. I just want a beer. Sam Evans. Simon looks at Quinn. Quinn. Maggie? You know. Hey, I know she's beautiful, buddy. Maybe you two ought to get a room at the inn together and hook up. Simon's face turns red mad. He walks over. What the hell are you doing? You don't say it like that. What? You don't like that girl over there? She's beautiful. Honey, if I was his age, I'd take you out for a night on the town. Simon grows furious. He grabs Sam. Sam grabs him back. Now look! Either you give me my beer, or I'm just going to leave. Then leave, then. Simon shoves him. I'm going to tell Bob about this. He's the owner. Bob is not the owner. I am, Simon blurts out. Quinn's beginning to realize what has happened. Simon. Sam looks at her too. She shakes her head. What the hell was she shaking her head about? Uh, Quinn quickly stands up and walks over to Sam. Hey, would you like a dance with me? Sam looks, you're a little young for me. I know, but my friend is really sorry. This is his first night here, and he's just very frustrated. Please don't get him fired. Sam looks at the young girl. I don't want to dance. You're a very beautiful girl, though, and if that is your friend, that jerk doesn't deserve a friend like you. He's not usually a jerk. He's just having a weird night. Do you ever have one of those nights? Quinn has beautiful green eyes. Sam can't help but notice them. You know, you ought to marry this young girl. She just saved your bacon, buddy. I won't tell Bob. But please, the next time I ask for a beer, just give it to me, will you? Simon says, okay. And then Sam Evans leaves the bar. 3 more patrons walk in and order. Simon gets them their drinks. Quinn motions to get me a beer. Okay. She goes, after Simon gets her beer, she motions to him to lean down. Simon, I think we're in another time. I think we went back to the past. What? That's impossible. And who the hell's Bob? Just then the jukebox cuts off. The beer seems to disappear in front of Gwen, as do their clothes. They go back to what they were. They're now standing across from each other, Simon behind the bar, Quinn back in her street clothes, and as for Simon, he's back in his clothes. The bar is empty, but Quinn is still sitting at the seat she was sitting at. She stands up. Can you believe that just happened? Simon goes, no, like, I don't understand. What did happen? But were we hallucinating? Simon questions. Quinn, no, we weren't. We talked to a real person, or the person that was alive at that point. Simon goes, I don't understand what happened. The bar, it looked brand new. It looked repaired. But that isn't till what? Tomorrow? Quinn shook her head. Maybe it's just been a long day for both of us. That was weird. Simon, I think we need to get rid of that jukebox. Simon looks. I don't believe that jukebox sent us back in time. That's impossible. I just don't believe it. Well, then do you believe your own eyes? Simon, I don't own a dress that short. That's shorter than anything I do own, in fact. Yeah, you looked good. Quinn blushes. Really? I mean, yeah, you look great. Look, let's call it a day, will you? Can we? I mean, seriously. This has just been crazy. Yeah, yeah. Let's call it a day. You're right. Simon, who didn't have much money after buying the bar, bought a small houseboat for them to stay in. They were more renting the houseboat than actually owning it, but it had a working shower and a bed. Simon slept on the floor in a while Quinn slept in a bed. Quinn thought about what had happened. She couldn't really try to close. She couldn't close her eyes. She just lay there. Was the jukebox trying to tell them something by taking them back into the past? Was it trying to tell them to get away from here? Or tell them something else? Quinn looked at Simon, who was now snoring. She sat up in her nightgown. She had always felt something about Simon. In many ways, she loved him very much, though she never told him. She was very much attracted to him. For the first time, she sort of got that same vibe from Simon that she had never gotten before. Had going back brought that out of him? She could only wonder. The next morning, Simon and Quinn returned to the Blue Whale. Quinn, Simon, look. The door was partially. We locked that door. They ran toward the door. When they bur when they burst through it, when they burst through the door, music was already playing. The song "Cold Jerk" by Capitals was playing, and people were dancing. The bar was full, but it was not full because of them having new patrons. It was full because they were back in the 60s once more. It's like coming through that door was like coming through another time. Simon shook his head. He was back in his usual uniform. As as for Quinn, this time her short dress was red instead of blue. She's like, "What the hell?" He looked. He looked up at her long legs and up her body. Um, wow. Simon's face turned red. He had never really noticed Quinn this way before. Quinn, you look, um, it, you look amazing. Quinn's face turned red. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, can I get a drink? Simon, yeah, I'm getting. Simon noticed it was from the man from the night before. It was Sam Evans. He got him a shirt. Hey, you back with this jerk? Uh, I guess I am. Why don't you have a seat? So Quinn did have a seat. What's your name? Oh, I'm Quinn. Quinn Davis. That's Simon Felton. Quinn and Simon. You guys sound like a couple. You sure you're not? Simon goes, no, we're not. Sam, buddy, are you like are you like blind or something? You don't have a ring on this girl's finger? You see her? She's smoking hot. What's wrong with you? You youngsters getting slow or what? Back in my day when I was young, God, I met this beautiful woman. It was my dog. It was Maggie's mom. Wow, what a knockout she was. What? Where's Mrs. Evans now? Quinn asked. Sam, she died. I'm, I'm so sorry. Sam put his hands. No, you didn't know. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It just, it happened. Simon hands him his beer. How did it happen? Cancer. Damnedest thing. She was so sick all the time. I remember her laying in bed, suffering. Even though I paid the hospital bills, there was nothing they could do for her. You look like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, man. Sam looked. I do, son. I do. Quinn goes, uh, we're so sorry. Simon goes, yeah, man, I'm sorry. That's awful. Sam looks at him. He takes. That's why you ought to take this young lady out instead of coming to work every night. You know, Bob's not lazy. Where is he anyway? Simon didn't know how to answer him. He didn't know where Bob was, or who even Bob was, or what he looked like. I really don't know. He just told me to open the bar and get to work. That sounds like him. Typical Bob. He hires this kid and just tells him to get to work without telling him where he is. God, that man. How do you put up with that? I mean, he pays me. Sam laughs. I like you, kid. You're not having the night you were before. Quinn goes, "Hey, Mr. Evans?" Sam, call me Sam. Call me Sam. Sam, what's your daughter's name? Sam stops. He looks. He raises his eyebrows. I didn't tell you I had a daughter. I, I thought you did. Quinn had slipped up. Even Simon had noticed it. The change in his tone. The man was beginning to grow weary of her, simply for the fact of he didn't mention his daughter. He didn't even mention he had one. But Quinn had guessed that Sam Evans was Maggie's father. And that guess, though right, made Sam suspicious of the young lady now sitting next to him. Sam goes, "How did you know my daughter's name was Maggie?" "No, I didn't tell you that." Um, I'm the young girl at the cafe. She said her name was Maggie Evans. I assumed that was your daughter." Quinn didn't know where those words came from, but they came. Even Simon looked like, cafe? He didn't know what she was talking about. There was no cafe where they were from. But there was back in 1966. The cafe that sat inside the hotel lobby. Maggie worked at it. Quinn somehow knew that. Sam, realizing that she did know this. "Oh, I see. You met Maggie where she worked." "Yeah, she said she had a dad that came into Blue Whale." Again, words forming from Quinn's mouth, not knowing where they're really coming from, scared her. But she had suddenly got answers to give to Sam, and those answers reassured him that she was on the level. "Well, that's my third beer. I better get out of here. I gotta go pick Maggie up, by the way. I'll tell you said your name was Quinn? I'll tell her you said hi." Sam left. The clock struck 2 a.m. It was closing time for the Blue Whale. And just like it was closing time, their clothes had changed back. Time and didn't seem to hold up, though. That's what Simon didn't understand once they got back in the clothes. "Are you all right? How the hell did that just happen?" The jukebox had quit playing. Simon looked. He went and he unplugged the jukebox. "I'm tired of that thing." Quinn stood up off the bar stool. "It's okay. It's okay." Simon looked into Quinn's green eyes. Quinn looking into his brown eyes. The two could help but staring into each other's eyes. "Quinn, are you all right? He could have hurt you." "I don't think he would have hurt me. I think I just scared him a bit. But my story's not going to match up. She'll say she doesn't know me, won't she?" "Well, how did you know she worked at a cafe?" He goes, "I don't know. The words came to my mouth. I don't know." "What the hell's going on here?" Simon said out loud. I don't know, but can we just, Simon, look." Simon did look. The bar was brand new. Simon goes, "Wait, did the workers come in already before us? That can't be right." And he goes, "And look." Simon looked again. He noticed the bar was stocked with liquor. Simon stepped back. He grabbed Quinn by the hand and pulled her. They went toward the door. The door slammed shut and locked before them reaching. "I don't think it wants us to leave." They slowly walked back toward the floor. What do you want from us? Save him, a voice had said. Save him? Quinn and Simon both looked at each other. The voice sounded like a young woman, but they could not distinguish the voice. They didn't know whose it was. The music kicked back on, and just like that, they were back in 1966 again. But this time, Simon noticed he was in street clothes. The song Summer in the City was playing, and people were dancing. Simon in street clothes, in, in a white button-up t-shirt and a black overcoat and black pants. And this time with Quinn in a beautiful short green dress. Man, are those getting shorter? Quinn blushed. No, I'm not doing it, by the way. The two began dancing together so they wouldn't look suspicious. After they stopped dancing, he grabbed her by the hand and he went toward the door. This time the door was unlocked. He looked. Bob said, "Hey, Simon." He looked. "Yeah, good work last night. Sam told me you did a good job. Keep up the good work." Simon and Quinn left the Blue Whale, but when they left this time, they weren't in their own time. They were back in 1966. The only thing Quinn could think was about the words she had heard her and Simon heard. Save him. Simon. He looked at Quinn's eyes. Him. Save him. Simon. They must be talking about Sam, right? That's the only person we've really talked to back in the 60s. Well, Bob now, too. Quinn nodded. They went. They ran along the docks. Quinn goes, "Wait, my feet." He noticed that Quinn was wearing heeled shoes. "I've never seen you wear those type of shoes before." She took off the shoe. She was now on her bare feet. "I'm not running in these damn things. They kill my feet." They, she threw them in the water and they began to run again. They came to the main road and crossed the street. They saw the diner. They saw a young, dark-haired girl serving customers. Quinn and Simon couldn't believe their eyes. They knew her by sight alone, though her age was younger. Simon said it first. "Maggie." Simon goes, "She's very pretty," Quinn said. "Not as pretty as you." Quinn's face turned red. She had never heard Simon compliment her like that before. They walked into the cafe together. Um, hey, Maggie, right? Which one of you must be Simon and Quinn? Don't worry, Quinn. I covered for you with my dad. And we didn't talk the night before. We talked 2 nights ago, remember? Quinn never remembered talking to Maggie. But had she had a girl that resembled Quinn but had the same name did speak with Maggie, and now she was taking that girl's place? Was there a Simon that worked back in 1966 and now Simon Felton was taking his place? Maggie goes, there is one thing that puzzles me though. Why why did you give him why did you both give my father different last names? Your last name isn't Davis. It's Adams. Quinn Adams. And your last name isn't Felton. It's Mackenzie. Oh, sorry. We were just messing with him. You two are silly. Where is your dad, Maggie? Oh, he walks along up on Widow's Hill sometimes. Widow's Hill, Simon said. Yeah, it's a place where people tend to commit suicide, but my dad goes there to look at the view. Thank you, Simon and Quinn leave. Quinn goes, wait, for they do. Where is it? She points. She goes, it's up that road. You keep going and going, and once you get to the highest point, that is Widow's Hill. You'll see a large Gothic house through the trees. That's Collinwood. The two run and run. They run so fast. By the time they get to the top, they're out of breath. Okay, I know I'm not out of shape, but damn. Yeah, tell me about it. My feet are killing me, even without shoes. They see a man near the cliff. Simon, with a burst of energy, runs at him. He tackles them. What the hell, Sam says. Don't do it. Don't jump. Quinn then comes up beside Mr. Evans, I mean Sam. You can't do it. You can't commit suicide. Sam looks at the two young people after getting up off the ground with Simon. I ought to deck you. Both Simon and Quinn look at him, but I can't. I must admit, I was thinking of it. I thought about jumping. I don't know why you stopped me, but that seems to have convinced me to not do it. How did you know I'd be up here? Simon goes, lucky guess. Sam had walked away from Widow's Hill. They had prevented him from dying. They made their way back to the Blue Whale. They were still stuck back in the 60s. The song Sweet Talking Guy begins to play by the Chiffons. Simon takes Quinn by the hand, begins to dance with her, and just smiles at him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about all this, Quinn. I don't know why any of this is really happening, but it's happened. He goes, it's not your fault. I wasn't meaning us coming back in time. Quinn looked at him. Simon realized it now. He was in love with Quinn. He just couldn't see it before. How beautiful she always looked. He touched her face with his left hand and leaned in and kissed her on her red lips. Love has its own electricity in a way. The kiss causes the jukebox plug to spark and short out. And just like that, their clothes go from the 60s to the back to the present day. They're standing in the middle of the old Blue Whale floor. Maggie goes, oh, excuse me. They both stop kissing and look. I'm so sorry. I should have knocked. Hey, you fixed the bar. It looks great. You got a liquor supply. Quinn and Simon begin to smile and laugh. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. You guys have a good day. I'll be back with another story entitled One Night at Widow's Hill